Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm Beth. Let's plan for February since it's already February 2nd. I don't even know when I'm going to have time to edit this. Hopefully on Monday it will go up for my patrons and Tuesday it will go up for the rest of the world. We shall see. This is the fourth video I have filmed today, so there are other videos coming as I can get them edited and spread out over the week or the next 2 weeks. Plan with me should be back until whenever my moving weekend shows up, and then once I start moving, y'all know how that is, all the filming stuff comes down to get transported to the new place. Yeah, let's see what we can get done. It's time to plan for February. The first video that I recorded today was my son's custom bullet journal so that he could have it, because it only took him through today, because I do include, if there's only 2 days of a week that are in a certain month, they go in the previous month. So he had his weekly for the last week of January and the first 2 days of February, but then he couldn't plan any further than that. And I had designed this in some December, but there were some tweaks that I had to make to it. So again, if you've not been here for a little bit, hi, I have a new job. I'm commuting right now. I'm in the car 2 hours a day. I am an event manager in a venue, so my hours have gotten a little more wibbly wobbly than they used to be, which is fine because I'm so much happier right now. We'll see if it lasts. No, it should be fine. I love where I'm at. It should be okay. I just need to get moved so that I'm closer to where I work. It's easier for me to meet with clients if they want to meet at an odd hour, because sometimes that just has to happen for everybody's schedule. I have an extremely large event coming up in 2 weeks, and I really wanted to be moved before then, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, so we'll just see. Okay, I have a February cover sheet. Again, with all the things that have been going on, this is what my January planning looked like. We set it up, it fell apart. If you're in a similar situation, just know that you too can reboot your 2025. You just have to start over. It's fine. It's no big deal. I'll probably do some sort of month-end reflection on this page. I think is what I'm planning on doing, just to document how crazy it's been. The other thing has been trying to figure out where my planners now fit in my system, because I have a different job. It's completely different. So the flow is not working the same way. And we're going to talk about it as we go along. My theme for 2025 every month is based off of one of my Halloween playlists, because I have a whole bunch of them and I'm really loving it. So, my journal, my planner, my themes. You don't have to love them, but I love them. And the second Halloween playlist that I ever created was called Voodoo Blues. So it's a little return to New Orleans. In October, we had a little bit of a New Orleans theme. And I think I mentioned in that video that if you are an American and you've never been out of the country and you've never been to New Orleans, go to New Orleans. It's the closest you can get to being out of the country without leaving the country. It really is. There are some other places in this country that I have been that kind of feel like that they're their own little ecosystem, but New Orleans is definitively, Nolans is its own thing, y'all. It just is its own thing. If you are not from the United States and you come to the United States and the first place that you come to is Nolans, that's not what the rest of the country is like. It's not at all, nowhere close. And as far apart in culture and dialect, we all speak English, supposedly, here, as someplace like New York is from, say, Seattle. Two wildly different ecosystems, not just for humanity, but even, when you think of actual ecosystems, two wildly different places. But then you come to the middle and go down to New Orleans, or Nolans, and it's not like anything around it, even. It is just its own thing. And we love it for it. We love it for it. And I said it in October. I'm going to say it again. It's time for me to go back. I need to go back. All right, we learned in January that I'm very bad at sticking down these little strips that have the dates on them. I messed one up. I had to use a different one. But I am going to put the days of the week next to it. I'm also going to put them at the same angle because they're numbered this way. This one tried to fold under, my one did. See, so that's already messed up. You know, we're already on a winning streak here. But that started on a Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And this is a very thin 0.005 pigment micron. I tried to use a 0.003, but it's drying up and it wouldn't work on me. And I'm saying in my head, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I can't say it in my head and talk to y'all at the same time. And of course, it is that time of year of the short month. Last year was a leap year. We got that 29th day in February. And this year we do not get the 29th day in February. Okay, let me put some stuff on this page. So, do I want to put a header? Maybe. Let's see, where does that end? Right about halfway. All right, so we're going to put goals. These are very light goals. We are not pursuing heavy goals right now while we're trying to get moved. In fact, goal number 1 is pack. Because again, I'm only home and conscious about 3 hours a day. For career and creativity, we're going to put fix system. This has 2 meanings. In one hand, it has to do with my planning system. On the other hand, it has to do with the fact that I now know our software at work really well. I told y'all, you give me a month with a software and I will know the ins and outs of how it works. And there are so many things that I need to get in and change in order to make us work smarter, not harder. Now, one of those things is catering items. If you've ever planned an event with a venue that involved food and beverage, they probably had you sign something called a BEO, a banquet event order. And that's what I'm talking about here. I have to change things in the system so that the banquet event orders will look professional without any sort of outside manipulation. The people who have been working there have been creating their BEOs in the system, exporting them into Microsoft Word, and adding additional information to them there, which has a lot of pitfalls. First of all, it opens you up to a whole lot of human error because anybody who checks the event in the system can then not see all of the things that have been added externally in Microsoft Word. You also have to keep up with which ones you've edited in Microsoft Word and which ones you haven't edited in Microsoft Word. Historically, if we were to go back and try to pull the event orders from a repeat group that comes annually, then we wouldn't also get the most accurate information in that event order because it's been changed again externally in Microsoft Word. Putting an end to that. I am putting an end to that for all of those reasons. Plus, it just takes more time. Just get it all done in the system. It wasn't their fault. They really got thrown into it as far as job and how to do it to begin with without any training. And they got thrown into the software after a software change with next to no training and have been winging it. And they've been doing a great job with what they had. I'm going to make it better. Which is why the person that hired me. I'm just going to say that. That's one of the reasons she was like, she's like, Beth's going to get down here and she's going to look at this system and she's going to start teaching us stuff. And the other 2 team members that I work with are already like, I don't even understand how you see what you see, but thank you. So that's how we are functioning. Okay, so here I have a calendar and I've decided to make it my cool stuff calendar. In January, I tried to make it a memory keeping calendar and I did okay with it, but I didn't do really great with it. It is what it is. Here we go. I'm going to try to use my elemental life operating system symbols to indicate what I'm putting on the calendar and where it falls within those things. If it falls within those things, it's going to cut a completely different symbol if it falls without, and you'll see some of those right off the bat. We're going to make this little swirly sign for spirit because February 1st marked the beginning of Imbolc, one of the Sabbats. The 2nd, which is today, that's a little calendar symbol, is Groundhog Day. Is it Groundhog Day? Is it really? Is February 2nd Groundhog Day? I wrote that down. Is Groundhog Day in March or February? It's in February, right? Winter, no winter. Does anybody know what happened when they took that Punxsutawney Phil out of the ground? If you're not American, I'm so sorry. We have this really stupid holiday where we have a groundhog tell us whether winter's going to continue or not. Dumbest thing ever. I'm going to put another swirly here, and I'm just going to draw a free hand circle. This is the first quarter moon. Sunday, a week from today. Something that I've gotten to the point where I don't give two shits about anymore. It's Super Bowl Sunday. I'm putting it on here so I don't forget, because it affects the entirety of the rest of this country. It affects traffic. It affects whether people go to church or not. It affects what it looks like in the grocery store. It affects everything. Now, I used to be a very huge football fan, and occasionally I do tune into a game and enjoy it or not enjoy it, whatever. When I went back to school as an adult, my deadline day was on Sunday, which is football day. That's when the NFL plays, is on Sunday. And I broke my football habit, and that's now been 11 years ago. Well, it's actually 11 years ago since I graduated, so 13 years ago since I went back to school. And I dropped my football habit, and I just didn't get back into the habit of it. I used to watch the draft and pay attention to all of the things and who went here and who got recruited here. And then for 2-3 years when I went back to school, I stopped watching football, and I just never went back to it. If it's on, fine. There's other sports I'd rather watch. But Super Bowl Sunday in the America is a very big deal. And honestly, we could use the distraction because the country's imploding. Okay, so on the 12th, we're going to put another one of our spirit symbols in a big empty circle. This is a full moon day. And then I'm also just going to draw a line. And here under my fire symbol, I'm going to put book club. I did not make it to my Bring Your Own Book Club in January. Again, the commute got in the way. Technically, I can make it. I can make it from where I work to book club if I can leave on time and I don't have an event happening and all of that sort of thing. I didn't even look to see when book club was in January, I'll be honest. I just forgot. I just didn't have time to look at it. I'm looking at it and it's on a very, 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 very bad day for me. So I'm going to go ahead and put in this career and creativity symbol. And I'm not always going to put my work events on this calendar, but I'm just going to put BA. That's an acronym for something. I have a huge event that starts coming in and setting up on the 12th. The event days are the 13th and the 14th. The teardown days for the event are the 15th. And yeah, am I going to be able to make it to book club the night before? I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. And this is the type of event that they hired me for. So that's what I'm there for. All right, so Valentine's Day is also that day, which I could really care less. Candy Day, whatever. Then we have national holiday. It is President's Day. I think President's Day is the last official holiday. It's the long stretch from February to Memorial Day at the end of May. Okay, spirit-wise again. It's the last quarter moon. Next to it, I'm going to draw a little TV. Oh dear. Because that's the day that Reacher Season 3 premieres. And I like that show. Just a reminder. And at the end of the month here, down on the 27th, we have a new moon. Very wonky new moon. But it's a new moon. I think that's it for now. I don't have any friend dates on here right now. I need to get at least one scheduled. I've had 2 in the last 2 weeks, which is good, considering how much I'm driving. It just, again, takes away from anything else that I want to do at home. So if I am at work and I leave there at 5 and then I go on a friend date, then by the time I get home, I'm just falling into bed and there's nothing. I have no time in the day to do anything else when I get home. But I do have see friends on here because it's vitally important for my mental health. I also need to walk. I left a very large facility. I have moved to a very large facility. There's plenty of space for me to walk. I just have to get up and do it and eat well. I've not been eating well. I've not been taking care of myself in regard to diet, and a lot of that has to do with how much time I spend in the car. And sometimes as I start rolling back into Little Rock, I'm just thinking about dinner and I'm way too tired to think about taking an hour to cook and a pickup takeout. While sometimes I've been picking up healthier takeout. Healthier takeout's more expensive than cheap takeout. But I started making a point this week to pick up healthier things than I have been picking up. And then as far as my spirit is concerned, I have to find a way to enjoy the commute, you guys. I've just got to enjoy the drive. On my way to work, it's typically just music because my brain at 7 o'clock in the morning, at my last job, y'all, I was getting out of bed at 7 in the morning because I'm not a morning person. And I got ready and showered and was out the door by 7:30. I was at work by 8 o'clock on a bad day if we had really bad traffic. Most of the time, if I left at 7:30, I was there by 7:45. If I left at 7:45, I could get there by 8. If I left at 8, it was 8:10 or 8:15, and I was like, yeah, I'm 15 minutes late. Whatever. But now I have to account for crazy traffic for an hour. Now, I am mostly going against the grain from what is coming into town, and I'm trying to go out of town. But there's been some really crazy shit that's happened on the interstate over the last few weeks, not necessarily on my road, but just in and around the interstate exchanges in Little Rock. So I read an article about one semi truck that cracked in half. And in my mind, it was driving like this and like cracked long ways in half. And then I finally saw a picture and it literally folded in half. The whole bed of the truck just folded in half and dumped corn all over the interstate. I mean, just corn was everywhere. Shut down the interstate for I don't know however many hours it took them to clean up the corn. I had to go to work on a Saturday and I was driving down the interstate and there was again a semi truck pulled off to the side fixing a flat tire. And I said aloud in my car, shit, he's really close to the road. And I'm in a car. I'm not in another truck. And sure enough, after I got to work, I saw an article where like 10 minutes after I passed that truck, another semi truck came by and clipped him. And whatever he hit, they spilled all of their stuff, both of them, all over the interstate. And it shut down the interstate for like 2 hours. If that had happened 10 minutes earlier, I would have been stuck, not being able to get off the interstate to get to work because I would have been behind whatever was dumped all over the road. I have to account for that. I'm up at 6 now, which makes me miserable. I'm a cranky human so that I can leave the house by 7 to work by 8. It's typically like 7:15 to 8:15 if we're being realistic, but my boss typically doesn't even walk in until 8:30, so it's no, never mind. Plus, I've been working a lot of hours like from 5 to 6 or 5 to 7 in the evenings trying to get some of this system stuff fixed. Because during the work hours, I'm going 90 to nothing with client meetings and getting things ready for clients. And sometimes I just I'm going to have to take a day and like lock myself in my office and say, everybody leave me alone. Because if I can get the things in the system fixed, we'll all be working faster. It'll just go a whole lot quicker. Let's decorate this page because I'm talking way too much. I don't have the time to be talking this much. I don't know why I'm talking so much. Okay, Voodoo Blues. This image is the original image that I put as the cover art for this playlist in 2011. I have no idea where it came from. I should probably do a reverse search so that I can figure that out because I just honestly have no idea. I have no idea. Let's go ahead and put some imagery on here. I cannot get a hold of that so that we know what our theme is. Voodoo Blues. This is one of my favorites. I think on the design kit, I actually put this is my favorite. That might be a little bit of an exaggeration, but I love this one. Absolutely love this playlist. I listen to it all of the time, even if we are nowhere near Halloween. I just love this playlist. So we're going to put that there. If you missed my January setup, this is designed to fit inside an A5. I have about 6 other covers now in the kit that you can download from my Patreon that will do different sizes, from a B4 to a B5 to a whole lot of other stuff. Let's see if I can get this F down here for February. I have a whole page of stylized song lyrics that I have designed and some other stuff. It's only $3 if you want to go grab it because it's just about me creating all the little bits and bobs and curating the images to make them match. They're all open source images either from Unsplash, Pixabay, or Canva. Okay, we're going to turn the page. I had started off deciding I wanted to do some sort of weekly question again. So last year I did the 52 lists project. I decided to generate my own this time, and I have a list, but, I've not been planning, as y'all know. So I've not been doing my lists. I did do my list for week 1, which is top 10 fictional winter wonderlands. So I have Narnia, North's Workshop and Rise of the Guardians, the Misty Mountains from Lord of the Rings, Arendelle, Hogsmeade, Winterfell, Hoth, the Planet of Ood for the rest of you Doctor Who fans, the Fortress of Solitude for you Superman fans, and I didn't come up with a 10th. I'm sure there's something I could put there, but there we go. So this is week 6. We're just gonna, week 2 through 5 just disappeared. I'm just not gonna go back and worry about it. And I'm gonna do the top 10 methods of spring cleaning. Originally, I had written like top 10 silly methods of spring cleaning. Like listening to crazy music while you clean or that kind of thing. And I might still include some of that. But let's be real. I'm about to be packing. I'm about to go through the ultimate spring clean. Because I'm a purger and I moved a year ago. And a year ago, I only moved from one apartment to another, and it was literally only down 2 doors. So while I did do some purging, I did not necessarily do the heavy purge that I would normally do. But I've been in this apartment, and there's one closet in particular that has a lot of arts and crafts kind of things in it that I realized, other than the vacuum that's also stored in that closet, I haven't touched most of that all year long. I've kind of surpassed the crafty phase of what is in that closet, and I don't need it anymore, and somebody else can get some better use out of it. So, yeah, that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna let it go, as Elsa would say. But, so, let's just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Yeah, we're gonna Marie Kondo the hell out of this place. H-star. And I haven't officially decided where I'm going to be living yet, but if I move into another 3-bedroom, we got space. If I move into another 2-bedroom, we're gonna be hardcore purging. February 1st was yesterday. As you can see, there's nothing written here. February 2nd is today. As you can see, there's nothing written here, but they were Saturday, Sunday. And I went ahead and stuck in my stickers thinking to myself, is a half a page good enough for a Saturday or a Sunday? And I think it is. And I do kind of want to find some time this week, whether it's on a lunch break or whatever, to do just a little bit of back planning on these days. If I end up not getting to it, that's okay. I just wanted to start fresh and put down February 1st and February 2nd. Now, here is what I'm going to start setting up for February 3rd. We're going to grab this and make 2 headers. I might not always need 2 headers. Don't know how the pages are going to work out, but I wrote February 3rd through the 9th up here. I'm going to go ahead and put in the headers for the 4th through the 9th, and hopefully that will be an entryway point to the fact that it's already there. I can get to work, I can pull this out, I can stick it on my desk, because it is going to be more integral to my work planning than this planner used to be. This planner used to just be personal because all of my work-related stuff was subject to Freedom of Information Act through the government. And if somebody had ever asked for everything pertaining to one of my events, I would have had to have turned over my planning system as well. So I kept that digitally so it was easy to keep work separate from home. What I'm finding here is that, especially right now while I'm driving 2 hours a day, it's work. It's work, it's work, it's work, it's work. And I don't want to keep 2 different planners. So work and personal are both going to be in here, but there's not going to be a lot of personal in here. It's mostly going to be work-related things. So for tomorrow, the high is supposed to be 70. We have moved into that fun Arkansas weather where you never know what temperature it's going to be. When I woke up this morning, I had the heater on. Mid-afternoon, I had to turn the air on because it got too hot in my apartment because the afternoon sun comes straight in these windows and I was dying. I was sitting here filming. I was like, why is it so hot? I was like, why is it over 70? It is February 2nd. And don't get me wrong, I'm not mad. I would rather it be over 70 than it be 20 degrees. But last week we had some of the coldest, no, week before last, we had some of the coldest weather we've had in eons. Last week it rained like a monsoon. I drove in some of the worst weather ever. It's just been a good time. And then I am putting a quote on here. And I'm going to go ahead and write it in and then I'll read it to you. All right, and that says a human being can survive almost anything as long as she sees the end in sight. Technically, this is a quote about depression. Right now, I'm applying it to the drive. I'm applying it to the commute because I'm over it. I'm so over it. Anyway, that is by Elizabeth Wurtzel, who wrote Prozac Nation. And then I'm going to put work stuff. I'm going to put staff meeting because I have one of those first thing in the morning at 9 a.m. so I can make any pertinent. I don't typically take a lot of notes in a staff meeting, just kind of highlight some things that are important to me. I'm going to go ahead and put in here 3 little stars because when I get in the morning and evaluate some things and have staff meeting, just to make sure nothing gets hijacked, that'll be the top 3. That's the stuff I've got to get done before I can walk out the door tomorrow. And then we will look at maybe putting some personal stuff down here. And then we'll see how the rest of the page shakes out. But we are going to do this for the week. Or maybe I should just do it for these 2 no, because I'll forget. We're going to do it for the week. And if I have blank pages, I have blank pages. So, February 4th, 5th, 6th. So what is that? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then I will, oh, no, come on, you can do it. You can do it. Let go. And then I will combine Friday and Saturday on the same page, or Saturday and Sunday on the same page. And I folded that up again. Oh well, it's fine. And I didn't put it down straight either. Also fine. And find the little dot that marks the middle to make it easy and stick it right there. Okay, these come from Sterling Ink. I bought the whole year. Irritates me that I didn't use January. It is what it is. I have previously tried to kind of pre-set up full pages to see if I would use them that way, and they didn't really work. Like, I've made sections for all of the things, and then on one day I would need a section that I didn't need on another day, and so it was a fun novelty. If you want to look at one of my monthly flip-throughs from last year, May maybe, I guess. It was probably May because it was yellow. It was a novelty for the first 2 or 3 days, and I used it really, really well, and then it fell off. I've never been good at the page a day kind of thing, but I think that's where I'm at in this season of life. Not positive. I just think that's where I'm at in this season of life. We're going to find out if it works or not. And if it doesn't work, we're going to change it again because it's our planning system, and we can do that. Y'all don't have to stick to the same thing just because you started it that way. All right, jumping back to the weekly. I did a weekly a couple weeks ago. I didn't do last week. Didn't do it for myself. Didn't do it for y'all. You can tell I'm on the struggle bus. You can tell. But we're going to try it again. And I'm going to use the same color just because it's a good neutral. And draw a line down the middle of this weekly page like that. And then over here, I'm going to do one here. I'm going to do one here. Moving things around a little bit. Even though I didn't use some of these categories 2 weeks ago when I set this up, I think I really need, no, I know I really need them. And I either need to get in the habit of doing it digitally and take it out of my planner, or I just need to start writing it all down. And they both take time, but things are getting lost. And again, it has to do with how quickly everything is coming in and around me. So this looks really chaotic right here. We're going to deal with it in a minute. First of all, let's get in like the personal work situation. So on the left side is personal. We're going to go ahead and put in the weather just in terms of temperature. So we're back up in the 70s tomorrow, and then it drops down to 59 on Tuesday. Back up into the 70s on Wednesday. Let's put our moon in here. And it stays there Thursday. And then we come back down into the 50s for Friday. I mean, it's just stupid crazy. Up, down, up, down, up, down. And then Saturday, back up into the 70s. Let me just tell you, I have no idea what's going on. And then Sunday, back down into the 50s. It's crazy pants. This is why, when it starts raining on top of this, that we have tornadoes. It's because of this 20-degree drop. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. It's dumb. Okay, tomorrow, I have one personal thing that I really need to check on, and that is the status of my retirement transfer from one account to another account. I have a tracker of how it's going through the process. It's like I've done my part, my previous employer's done their part, Fidelity's initiated their part. I just need the money to get from point A to point B so that I know that it's there. So that it doesn't get all lost in the ether. Okay, and then again, down here on next Sunday, we're just gonna put doink doink, a little football and Super Bowl, that number. What is that, 59? Who cares? Okay, I don't have a whole lot else because I'm not planning a whole lot else in regards to personal things. Somewhere in here, and it's probably gonna fall on the following week, I need to take a midweek day off because I still haven't registered my new car that I bought in December. I have my tags on it, and I have the documentation saying that from the car dealer saying I can transfer them from one car to the other. It's been a legitimate purchase. The tags haven't been stolen, but I haven't officially registered my car. And as much as I'm on the interstate, I'm going to get pulled over, and they're going to be like, is this really your car? This is not what the tags say the car is registered to. Anywho. Okay, I am on the work side, putting in groups that we have in-house. I'm having to come up with weird little acronyms because I'm not gonna write out the actual names of my clients. It's really not that important. I don't even think that they would care. All of their information is public. All their meetings are on their websites, you know, that kind of thing. But it's just one of those things that I want to do. Obviously, that's some sort of dental thing, but you don't know what kind of dental thing, so that's fine. If it has a star next to it, it is my event. I am the event manager. I need to check on them and make sure everything is going to plan, that kind of thing. On Wednesday, my boss is going to be out of town, and we had a big Chamber of Commerce banquet last week, and somebody from that banquet was impressed by that banquet, wants to come in and talk about an event. My boss is out of town, so I'm going to meet with them instead. So I have a client lunch at noon on Wednesday. I have some other things, but I still don't have access to my work calendar from home. Due to security risks at my place of employment, you have to work there at least 30 days before IT will set you up with a VPN for you to be able to get into your stuff remotely. I've now been there more than 30 days. The paperwork has been submitted. I'm waiting for them to get me all set up. To that end, my goal for the month, where I say fix the system, would actually get a little bit easier because if I was at home on a weekend, like this weekend, and I'll be honest, Saturday morning, I gave myself freedom to do nothing. I didn't do anything work related. I wasn't in a car. I wasn't driving. I caught up on some YouTube. I just did nothing for that morning. That's about all I could give myself, but it felt great. I sat on the TV and I watched some of the Expanse television show. And I could be fixing some of the things in the system from home when I'm doing that. Like, cause it's kind of brainless work of stuff that I need to fix. It's all in there. I just have to go methodically through every little line item and fix how it presents on the reports. So it's tedious work. It's busy work. And I could so do that while I'm watching television if I had access to my stuff. Waiting on, this is a list that I've always had as an event manager. It's waiting on a client to get me their food order, or for a client who's given me their food order to give me their final count. Like, we are going to have 250 people. We're going to have 312. Whatever it is, they have to give me a guaranteed count, which is what their final charge is based on. I'm waiting on contracts to be signed. I'm waiting on clients to decide if they need more meeting space so that I can finish the contract. I've sent proposals that haven't been signed to say I can initiate the contract. All of those things, waiting on all kinds of things. A client has a special request that I have to go through my vice president for, waiting on that person's response. So I've recreated my waiting on list. I also have an inbox. This is where things are getting lost because my email, there are organizations who do email well, and there are organizations who do not do email well. My current organization doesn't do email well. They tend to copy everybody on everything, and it's the worst kind of email to deal with. I can walk away from my desk for 25, 30 minutes and come back to 25 or 30 emails. And half of them I don't need, but it takes time to look through and go, do I need that? Do I not need that? Do I need that? Do I not need that? And sometimes what I do need is getting lost in my inbox, and it's got to come out of that digital space and go somewhere else where I'm not going to lose it. And then, speaking of those banquet event orders, let's see. So this column are ones that are due this week. Some of them are already done. This column are ones that are going to be due next week. So as an event manager, I'm meeting with my client. I'm finding out how they need their meeting room set up. Do they want it classroom style? Do they want rounds of 10, rounds of 8, crescent rounds? Do they want a U-shaped table? Do they need a boardroom table? All of those fun things. We're also outlining how many breaks they wanted a day. What do they want to eat on their breaks? What do they want to serve their guests for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, if they're serving them breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or if they're on their own, or if they're all going off-site together to eat dinner at a restaurant locally. All of that has to get scripted into an event. So as the venue, we know where our people are pretty much every minute of the day and who needs to be there for them. Is it valet? Is there a bus coming and going? Is it banquets because they're having dinner or they're having lunch or they're having a break? Is it EVS, which is environmental systems? So that they know when those people are out of their meeting room having lunch somewhere else so they can come in and clean quietly and get back out before they come back in for the meeting. That's how venues work, people. And we work off of an event order. I say EO, where I work, they like to put the word banquet in front of it, even though not every event order has to do with banquets. Some of it's audiovisual, right? Some of it's the tech guys having to come in and set up microphones and drop down screens and all of those things. It's not always banquet related, but for this purpose, we're doing BEOs. We like to have our BEOs out to our team 3 weeks in advance. Now, that's not going to have final counts for meals on it because some people are still doing registration or selling tables for a special event. But we at least know what they're going to eat, and we have an estimated count of where we think their counts are going to land. Again, mine have a star next to them, so I'm just going to go ahead and draw as much as I can a straight line. I did not draw a straight line as I was putting these in. I was drawing individual squares, and I was like, what am I doing? But I didn't quite know how far they were going to go down. So now I know to put in my event names and draw my squares separately because this is silly. Okay, and then we have a star. That means it's mine, 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 mine. And think about this. They just hired me in December. All of these events would have belonged to one person who was hanging by a thread. It's such a popular venue. She's been the only one detailing events, getting the event orders ready to go for months. Hanging by a thread. Said she was doing a great job holding it together. This one's already done. And then I am the senior sales and event planning manager. So my boss is the sales director. She's the one doing most of the selling, going out and getting the clients, doing the contracting, that sort of thing. I am also doing some contracting, mostly on incoming calls, mostly for things that are small conferences or events, like a one-day event, like a banquet. Because I am senior, I've been training the other people that I work with who never got any training. So we've been trying to do that on the side, but I also need to keep tabs on where they are and what they need to get done as well. So this is that dental one we talked about. I know she has that one done. This one, I know she has done. This one is me. This is one of the biggest events we're going to have of the year. It is 95% complete. A shell of an event order has gone out to our staff. We're doing some very specialized things for this group. We need some very specialized instructions. We're still waiting for some of those details to come in. So I'm not going to check it off yet. This one is done. This is actually something our marketing team is doing. This one is done. It probably needs a final count on food, but at least I know it's mostly done. I think I have that one done. I need to be in the office to check it and see for sure. What is that? Oh, that's a T. Some of these you're looking at, you're like, McG. What is it, McG? These are all due, and I put it here because these are all due on Wednesday. Wednesdays are due date for these from Friday to then 3 weeks forward on Friday. So I also want to be looking forward to what is coming up that will be new next week. I don't like doing things last minute. One of the things that I hate most in this entire world is revising event orders. Just get them right the first time. Client signs off on them. The only thing you need to change is final counts. That's how I want my event orders to run. We have been revising and revising and revising event orders from the moment I stepped in the door, and we gotta stop doing that because it's driving me crazy, and it takes longer. It takes more of everybody's time. Put some more in here. I actually went out a couple of weeks into the future just to give myself an idea. This line right here marks really what's due this Wednesday. This is some of the things that are due the week after that, so that I can get us really in a frame of mind where we're getting things out far enough in advance that we feel like we can breathe. We can breathe. Like I said, there's been one person handling all of this, and I've been trying to help her catch up for a month. We're getting there. Not only catch up, but doing the event orders in a way that is smarter, not harder. Smarter, not harder. Okay, and then I'm trying to leave space for my weekly ritual. It's been all the way the month of January. I haven't written a weekly ritual. I haven't written an end of January ritual, and y'all, I'm feeling it. I'm scattered. I'm all over the place. Do I want to decorate this page? I added these after the fact 2 weeks ago when I did this. I think I do want to add something to the page. I have some of the song lyrics that look like this. And I have some song lyrics that are more stylized like this. Get over another one. Not that I'm going to use all of them on this page. Okay, I am going to stick one down here. This one says, down in Louisiana where the black trees grow. I'm pretty sure that comes from the song Marie Laveau, because it rhymes. About the enchantress Marie Laveau. And put that right there. Just gives us a little something on the page. I know Sunday's going to be fairly quiet. I can put that there because I don't have any events over the weekend. Thank goodness. I should theoretically next weekend be able to film a plan with me. Don't hold me to that. And maybe one other video. I will hardcore hopefully be packing at that point. I think I'm going to go to the Dollar Tree even and like buy myself like a plastic plate and cup, or maybe 2 plates and 2 cups. And then just some really cheap cutlery and pack all of the stuff in the kitchen that I don't need and just use. Like, it's just me right now. It's not like I'm feeding other people. And just use like that plastic cup and that plate and have everything else packed away. I don't know. Trying to decide. Making decisions. Do I want to put a picture here? No, I'm going to wait. I think all my other pictures are larger. I'm looking at them right now. We're going to wait. I might stick a picture or 2 on here as I start filling things in. Like, if I don't add anything here, then I can... Like, I've already chopped this up. Then I can grab another picture from my kit and stick it on here to fill in some space. Okay, the other thing we got to look at is my month. This is my January month. This I have been using as memory keeping. Well, in 2024, I was using it as memory keeping. As you can see, it is blank. And I think I'm going to back plan events on here and some of the things from January that are work related and indicate which ones of them are annual so that I can go ahead. It takes a while when you move to a new venue to get used to the pattern of who comes every January, who comes every February, who comes every March. What time of the month do they normally like to come? And then you're trying to get them booked ahead of time, and then you can plug in everything else everywhere else. October in the state of Arkansas is the biggest association meeting month. So, I mean, we're going to get to October and it's just going to be back to back to back to back. It's like that at every venue in this state. But I want to be able to put in, like, this event was from here to here, and this one was from here to here, and start looking at it. So I think that's what we're going to do with February. So I'm going to set this up. I'm going to, again, use some little stickers on the dates. I'm going to go with a blue, and I think that's what I'm going to try to use this for. I'm not going to show y'all this once it's written in, because I'm probably going to write full names of events on this page. So while I can make up little acronyms week to week, when I'm looking at things at a whole, like if I write an acronym in here and it's not the actual acronym of the organization, it's Beth's made-up acronym. What happened to that? It's Beth's made-up acronym, so the world doesn't know what she's talking about. A year from now, I won't know what I was talking about. You know what I'm saying? It's all well and good to say that I might remember what I was doing. I'm going to tell you right now, I wouldn't remember. Would not remember. I do like these dots, though. I bought them at the end of 2023, intending to use them in 2024. Never got them out. Never used them for anything. And this is the very purpose they were purchased for. So I'm glad I'm using them. Glad I'm getting around to them. I'm trying to keep most of the design for this journal very cohesive and similar. There were some of the pictures. This is really mad at me. Hang on a second. I'll keep what I just cut off so I can use the other dots, but for now this was driving me nuts. I don't remember what I was saying. Alas, it has gone from my brain. Guys, that's how my brain is right now. I tell my kids if they don't text it to me so I can write it down, I'm not going to remember it. Not going to remember it. Although I can say, now that I've been with the youngest kid during one of his treatments, and his first 2 multiple sclerosis treatments, well, his first one was split into 2 sessions so that they didn't send his body into shock, because it's an infusion that takes like 6 to 8 hours. Now they say it'll go quicker from here on out, but his dad did the first half session with him so that he knew what it was all about, and I did the second half session with him so that I knew what it was all about. I'm just gonna tell you right now, y'all, those of you who've had to sit through dialysis or chemotherapy with ones that you love, I applaud you. That makes for a long day. And he's having his infusions in the Cancer Institute, where I used to work. Not clinical, but where I worked before I worked now was a medical university. And that's where he's having his infusions. And we have to go to the Cancer Institute to get those done. And that is, God, it makes for a long day. It is an ordeal to just sit there. And I'm not the one with, the needles in my arms. He's the one that's hooked up to the IV. And there's only so much YouTube you can watch. There's only so many conversations that you can have, where it just gets weary and you just start looking at one another like, what are we doing here? And again, I'm very, very grateful, because I think it's doing what was promised as far as alleviating some of the symptoms that he was feeling and making him feel more normal again, basically giving him his life back. Boy, it's a doozy of an experience. That says Wednesday. Lord have mercy. Okay, so here's something I've discovered, and I haven't talked about it yet. There's been all of this hoopla, scuttlebutt, frustrations on the internet, and the changes in Tomo River paper. And I was like, yeah, I don't think so. And then I tried to... Where's my Monday? Oh, there it is. Nope, that's not it. I've lost Monday. Where did Monday go? Monday, Tuesday, Saturday, Friday. Oh no. Guys, we lost Monday. I just cut it out before I started filming. It can't have gone far. It has to be nearby. I found Monday. It was on the floor. I went to pull off something that was washi sticker, and it used to pull, as long as I pulled gently, it would pull right off of my 2024 Common Planner. Not so with the 2025 planner. I'm putting all of these down at an angle. If I actually put this down and press on it and let it set for 5 seconds, If I try to now go peel it up, it will start tearing the paper. And that has not been the case for the Sterling Ink Common Planner until this one. Until I heard everybody griping about the Tomerver paper, not only in here, but specifically in the Hobonichis. That's where all of the conversation originated and started. Why can I not put that down straight? I'm going to have to get out the tweezers. Obviously, I'm incapable. Anywho, so that's been a thing. That's been a situation. I mean, even the date strip that I put down incorrectly in January, the reason I had to completely replace it with a new one is because it tore up the paper. It tore up the paper, it tore up itself, and it's also a washi sticker. It's been an unusual situation, I have to say. Just food for thought for those who've tried to say, oh, there's nothing wrong with the paper. Y'all, I just got up and turned my air conditioning back on. Turned it back on. We have February. For January, I put like a creepy stick or something sticking out from the J. Decided not to do that for February. Haven't decided if I like it better or not. This is one of the pictures that had kind of I'm just going to put it down. It's going to be crooked. Had kind of a blue undertone, which is why I chose blue to go along with my neutrals. Just to make it a little bit different than, let's see, let's put this here. Again, see, even if it barely touches the paper, y'all, it's really hard for me to get up, and it used to not be that way. I used to be able to really manipulate it if I needed to pull it back up. February. I have more things I can put on this page. Let's look at some quotes. What do we got? I think I'm going to put down this They Call Me the Voodoo Woman one because, again, it's Voodoo Blues. And the song lyrics that I didn't use from my January kit, I've already put in a sticker book. So if I want to bust them out and stick them somewhere else on a different month, I feel a-okay doing that. Let's see. Put that down there. Just on the corner. Do I want to put a song lyric there? Don't know. We're gonna put this saxophone guy, get some of the blues part of Voodoo Blues. We're gonna put this saxophone guy like right there. And then I have these music notes. I had to get them cut out. We have these music notes we're gonna stick and fill in that space right there. And I'll put that just like that. And I think that's good enough for now. I might add a few more bits and bobs in here. The last thing we have to do is go to my, again, non-existent touched tracker. I haven't had time to track anything. I do have my books written down in my reading journal, so at least it's one place. I was going to put my books here. Because they're written one down in one place, I can easily transfer those over and get them listed in here. For this month, I decided I was going to stick my Marie Laveau sticker right there. It's going to partially cover up February, but that's okay. It's just the Marie Laveau song is so iconic as far as New Orleans and music and voodoo. Oh my God. I'm going to have to get so much better at putting these down the first time, y'all, because I can't. It's down. It's down. It's down. It's crooked, but it's down. Last month I wrote these in gray, but we're just gonna do a little black. It'll be fine. I've done brown. Now most of this, other than my water consumption, my steps and my sleep live in other apps. So I could theoretically backfill my tracker at least with my sleep and my steps if I wanted to do that. If I find that I have the time, maybe at the end of the quarter after I'm moved or something where I want to put forth that effort just to make it look pretty and complete, I could do that. But you absolutely don't have to do that. If you, like me, either are just starting to plan because you're like, ooh, I've watched all these planner videos and it's February and can I start now? The answer is yes. If you're like me and you intended to plan and life just hijacks the way things go, if you regularly spend 2 hours in a car on your commute, I'm so sorry. Find a better job. Work from home. Do something. Don't spend 2 hours of your day in a car. That is just legitimately not a good use of anyone's time. I do make personal phone calls telling you I'm waiting on the Fidelity transfer or whatnot. The other day I had to call Fidelity from the car. It's just the only way that it's working. There we go. We have got Marie Laveau and the tracker ready to go. Here is my first week of February I'd love to put some more design stuff on here, but I really think I need the space maybe. I don't know. We will see. And then, of course, back here on my poor daily pages that have been so neglected, we're going to try a different approach. And I've put a lot of dashboard sort of things here on the front page with my Voodoo Blues header. And we're going... Oops, skipped a page. And then here's week 6, and here's where week 6 actually starts. I'm ready and set up to go tomorrow morning when I get to work. You probably won't see this till Tuesday. If you're on my YouTube, you'll see it on Monday evening when I get home and can edit this if you are on my Patreon. But for now, I gotta go to bed. So if you like this video, you know what to do. Give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next one.